I'm Jeff. I'm a graphic designer here in historic downtown Whitby. I've been freelancing for about 8 years. I've been a designer for over 20, which is kind of dating myself, but that's okay. And I've been doing all sorts of design in all sorts of disciplines, motion graphics, magazines, music videos, you name it, branding, logos, all that sort of stuff. So it's been fun. I grew up skateboarding, snowboarding, playing in music in bands, that type of thing. I didn't know what I wanted to do as a career. I had no idea. So, you go in the guidance counselor office and they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know what, to me as a high school kid, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to be like a, architect guy or an accountant or anything like that. So she's like, what type of things are you interested in? Skateboarding, snowboarding, music, art, computers. It's like, okay, skateboarding, you're not going to make a career of that. Snowboarding, you're not going to meet music, maybe, but the other two, no, you're not. Art and computers, here's a couple courses you could take, try those out, and if you like it, we can, see if there's something there for you. So I took a course called desktop publishing, and I didn't really know exactly what it was, but our teacher had us, cutting up photos, putting marker all over them, and we'd have to put them all back together in Photoshop, like early versions of Photoshop where you didn't have AI to do all that work for you. And then we're doing advertisements, we're doing like record covers and all of that stuff. I'm like, I can make a living off of this? Like, this is crazy. So, I was doing I take skateboard videos, chop them up, and then make like a CD-ROM out of it, right? That you could put in your computer and, click through menus and stuff like that. So all of that got me really excited for design, which I still, at that point, I had no idea it was called graphic design. By the end of high school, I decided, yeah, that's where I wanted to be. Like, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I loved art. I loved computers and what I was doing, with all the skateboard stuff and music stuff in that class. I'm like, I got to do this. I want to work in the skateboard industry. I want to work in the snowboard industry. Like pie in the sky, kind of like all these like dreamer thoughts, right? From there, I got into art school, went to college for 3 years doing graphic design. Right through school, I was really happy with everything that I was doing. So I knew I was on the right path. It was never boring to me. I had a lot of fun in college. Towards the end of college, I kind of had a similar experience with high school where it was like, okay, you're done college. What do you want to do? Like, where do you want to go? Do you want to go work at this corporation? Do you want to go work at that corporation? Do you want to go work at this agency? And I'm like, I don't know. So you go out and you do field placement, right? And by the last place, I was just so disheartened. I'm like, this is, something that I love. I'm really passionate about. And I'm looking around at drab, nothing on the walls in the place. I'm like, I can't work here. I cannot. There's no way I could work at this place. Getting towards the end of working at the publishing company, I started getting the itch to work in film and video again, and I really wanted to get back into motion graphics. I reached out to a few of my contacts in the film industry, and one of them got back to me and said, actually, there's a music video they probably need some graphics for. There was a band called the St. Alvia Cartel. They wanted to do a music video, the director did, where it was like posters, like rock posters, and the whole band was kind of living in this rock poster world. So a lot of it was 3D and CGI and stuff. So I was to do all of the design of the posters. I worked on that project and I was like hooked right back into it. I'm like, oh, I love being with these people again. Like I forgot how much I missed this. I loved working in the skateboard and snowboard industry, but doing magazines is much different than doing motion stuff. And then I was hooked at that point. I'm like, I got to get back into doing this. So I started getting calls from companies that were affiliated with that circle, that film circle. I was blown away by it. Again, I was putting that intention out there. I wanted to work in there, and I just made it happen, right? Like, of course I was working towards it, but letting people know that I wanted to do that work, people were coming to me, and it was happening. So towards the end of the publishing company, I knew like the cracks started to show a little bit with the company. And I'm like, I need to ramp up my freelance stuff in case something happens. And sure enough, it did. The company went under and I was left with nothing. We had a young child at the time. I'm like, okay, so I either, go work downtown at a agency or something and work my way up the ladder, or I go out on my own and I do freelance. And that's how my freelance career started. And that's where I am today. So that was about 8 years ago. So right now, my Instagram, I'm terrible at social media. I want to be constantly putting new stuff up, especially the work that I do, but I don't, and I should. And there you'll find all my design. You'll find some older stuff, and I will be putting some newer stuff up. I'll start with the art that you see on there right now, and the specific style and the style that I used on the town can. There is a series that an Instagram page called 36 Days of Type does. And every year they do 36 consecutive days. Anybody who does art that wants to be involved in it will do a letter, whatever they want to do. They could do video, they could do anything, motion graphics, 3D stuff, graphic design, whatever they want to do. They do their own letter and then post it up. And then the next day they do B, C, D, E, F, G. So I started doing a series, and this style kind of emerged from that. And I was having so much fun doing it. And it just kept going and going and going and building. People were loving it. Fast forward, I did, I think, 2 of those series in the same style. And Town posted a can, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. I'd like to do a can with them. And I reached out to Travis, and I'm like, I just commented on the post, and I said, oh, it'd be cool to do a can with you guys. And he's like, hit me up. I showed him some stuff, and he actually liked one of the ones that I did that I called Warped Vinyl. And I did my own version of that for the can, the sizing on the can. That's where that came up. It was cool. And it's funny because of that, when Town opened, I thought, I'm going to do a can for them one day. And here we are again, put that intention out there, and it happened. So yeah. It was pretty cool. The biggest one for me, which I'm making happen right now, is working with nonprofits. That's become important to me, more so for my soul. I don't want to end my career, not that I'm ending my career anytime soon, but I don't want to come out of my career with, only working in action sports and to me now as a dad, kind of frivolous stuff, right? I really enjoy it, but I want to do something with meaning, something that my kids, when they're older, can be like, oh, that was really cool that he did that. I got in contact with an agency in California. They're solely do nonprofits and hospital foundations and that sort of stuff. So they'll do websites, and they hit me up and said, do you want to work with us? And I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to be doing right now. To be able to support a nonprofit like them, it's really cool. It's really inspiring. To be able to play a small part of that, I think it's what I need right now.